So, my name is Ismo Tuominen and I work for the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health in Finland. This presentation is about the new alcohol advertising regulations for online advertising, and these regulations will come into force from the 1st of January 2015. For the background information, all alcohol advertising was banned in 1977 in Finland, and as we joined the EU, it was the time of liberalization in different legislation. We decided to allow advertising of mild alcoholic beverages, of course with certain restrictions, for example not to be aimed at minors and no link to social or sexual success is allowed. So advertising of strong alcoholic beverages is banned in Finland and advertising of mild alcoholic beverages is permitted. In 2008 we decided to have some more restrictions for the advertising of alcohol. For example, TV advertising was banned from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This was for the protection of children. As well as advertising in cinema theaters was banned also, except with X-rated movies where it is allowed. At the same time, there were some volume discounts banned, for example, buy two, pay for one, and advertising happy hours, for example, in the restaurants was banned also in 2008. And now we will come to the new legislation concerning online alcohol. Let me just tell you about the reasons when we noticed that there are some problems with alcohol advertising in online media. This was not about alcohol advertising, as this is an advertisement from Burger King and Whopper hamburgers. So we noticed that there are different kind of social networking programs which concentrate on how friends, for example, communicate with each other. So you have friends in Facebook, and if I, for example, would take off or sacrifice, as this advertising is saying, 10 friends, I will get one free Whopper hamburger. So this was one of the incidences and one of the examples when we noticed that there are new forms of advertising which are very capable of for example, being interesting towards children and young people. Some examples of new forms of online and social media marketing. Everyone knows that there is the internet marketing, but even the newest forms of marketing is the social media marketing, which covers activities when people, for example, connect to each other, connect to friends, and also connect to the advertisers' pages and Facebook pages. They share content, for example, stories, they write to each other, and all this can be seen in the Facebook walls. They send videos and images, for example, to each other, and this is also one part of the advertisers' activities. There are viral videos, for example, short funny videos which are very popular. They are not to be aimed at, for example, for TV advertising, but they are manufactured and produced to be shared by people, by consumers, for example, through social media and emails and blogists. Also, there is games, different kind of game mechanics when people, for example, play games or make levels by gaining some rewards and so on. So these are all new forms of advertising, in this context advertising alcohol, which are not primarily legislated at all in any countries in the world. What we drafted for government's proposal in the Finnish parliament was for the first an advertising ban in all indoor and outdoor public places, which I am not going to talk about anymore, and also a ban on TV and radio from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. But the main idea about this presentation is that we have this special sentence in the Alcohol Act which prohibits any alcohol advertising and sales promotions activities if they involve taking part in a game, lottery or contest. It also bans any advertising and sales promotion activities if they involve any textual or visual content produced by consumers, and any such content which is produced by a commercial actor and is intended to be shared by consumers. In the next slide, I will give some examples what this wording is about. So, when we are talking about games, lotteries or contests, or content produced by consumers or shared by consumers, we can talk about digital games and any gaming apps in consoles, tablets and mobile phones. According to the wording of the Alcohol Act, they will be banned from 2015. Along with any product placement about alcohol in video games, which will be also banned. And the most interesting part of this is that because, for example, when a consumer writes his or her stories or sends any photos or videos to the Facebook page of an advertiser, it is a content produced by consumers. So all this will be also banned, as well as any competitions and prizes, for example, in real life or in Facebook, for example, like us and win tickets to the next match or concert, which is very popular in the Facebook pages of advertisers. Also, if an advertiser produces or makes available videos, viral marketing, which is intended to be shared, for example, in Facebook or by blogists, it is also banned. When we are talking about sharing, for example, something in Facebook, it will have the tab in the Facebook page which says share, which means that this content will be shared to the friends of the guy or lady who is pushing that tab. We must bear in mind that all internet marketing with conventional textual or audiovisual content will still be allowed with previous restrictions, for example, not to be aimed at minors. So the new Alcohol Advertising Act is not banning internet marketing, but it is covering all the other new forms of social media marketing. It is also not aimed to ban any consumer's own writing, web pages, Facebook pages or emails. So these are not covered in the marketing, alcohol marketing, the concept of marketing, as long as the consumer is not getting paid, for example, by saying that the beer X is the best beer I have ever tasted. There are two lessons. The first lesson is that when we have these kind of new forms of advertising, for example, social media advertising, the best option for any government who wants to restrict this kind of advertising, for example, is to have the French model, loi Evin. The basic idea of loi Evin is to have a list of advertising practices which are allowed. So, for example, manufacturers' product information is allowed. That means that any games or making funny videos or having consumers' texts in the Facebook pages will be prohibited. So this is the best option. And what we are saying, that in Finland we have the second best option for political reasons. It is to define the most harmful practices and try to regulate them. So this law, which I am telling you about, will come into force in 2015. And of course, the worst option is for any government is just to sit back and watch these new forms of advertising. Lesson 2. What will happen in the future? What is the consequence? What are the consequences of the Finnish new alcohol advertising regulation? For the first, we know that one country, for example Finland, we cannot alone solve any problems in the global digital world. But we know that someone has to start, and we have started by restricting social alcohol advertising. We know that there will be foreign advertising, for example, from the Netherlands or from the United States, and we are not capable of restricting or banning it. But the law prohibits any targeting of Finnish customers, even from abroad. So we are not going to allow these kind of advertising activities to happen. So we are going to try to prohibit them, but at the same time we know that the world will not be ready after the Finnish new law. But the main lesson is that when different countries have different kind of regulations against these new forms, for example, of alcohol advertising, even if the regulations are in the basic principles of law and van, or in the basic principles of the Finnish legislation, they all create a situation where, for example, in the European Union, the Commission will be capable of drafting harmonizing EU legislation. This happened when the Commission drafted Tobacco Advertising Directive. What I'm saying is that when different countries have different kind of regulations, there will be a need for harmonizing these kind of rules, and it will not be the best option for the advertisers. It is possible to have even quite strict regulations in the EU also, but it needs some countries at least to follow Finland. These were the basic facts and the basic lessons which we have from regulating online alcohol advertising in Finland. Thank you.